Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
So now we're going to move to the meat of it. You know, I think you spend the majority of your time, which is the career material.
Yes, sir.
So I read that you, I think, started your first job as a newspaper delivery boy at the age of like 7?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Three.
Okay, so you've been working for about 50 years of your life now.
Pretty much.
And do you enjoy it? That's first where I'm going to start. Do you enjoy it?
I love it. You know, I'll give you a story. So I had 3 paper routes when I was 7 or 8. I don't remember how old I was exactly. I'm not good at that. But and so this guy, this is how competitive I am. So this guy that I was delivering papers to stops me because, you know, back in the day, you had to go and not only deliver the doggone paper, you had to go and collect the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow. Right? So I was like, by the way, quit doing that. No, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's nice to meet you, Dinosaur.
Yeah. That's Mr. Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy's like, hey, I want that thing on my doorstep. I don't want it an inch left and an inch right, da-da-da-da. I was like, okay. So from that point forward, when he opened his door, the paper would fall into his house. Yeah, I make sure I placed it. Right, you know, because my competitive spirit was that way.
Right.
But I just loved helping people. And so even though he kind of ticked me off a little bit and my competitive spirit up, that's what he wanted.
Right.
And I even at a young age, you know, because I think of my God lens and also because of my mom, I just realized that, you know, I just want to help you.
Yeah.
Let me help you. So I just, even at a very young age, 7, 8, 9 years old, if I could get that thing to fall in, and man, he used to tip the heck out of me. Right. I don't remember what it was back then, but it was a lot of money.
Yeah. You
know, because I did that, because he knew that he got ornery with me.
Yeah.
And I went up and beyond the call of duty, you know, to give that back.
Yeah.
But I also say, I've answered some questions on Quora before.
Oh, yeah.
And people will ask, you know, and no offense, I mean, roll the way you roll.
Yeah.
But they would say, well, do you think I could go to school, you know, and be an entrepreneur? And I'm like, dude, I've had at least 2 jobs since I've been, you know, 5 years old.
Right.
At least 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. What I mean by that is I always had school. I count that as a job. That's an 8-hour job. And then I had my paper route.
Right.
And then other times I would, you know, go around and do chores, you know, for other people or do whatever. So I think to myself, like in college as an example, I was taking 20 units.
Okay.
Right? I was doing track full-time on a scholarship.
Okay.
I got up at 4 a.m. so that I could go do daycare for 2 kids for an hour and a half.
Okay.
Right? And I was in the process of finishing up my degree to get to my credential.
Right.
I was working 18 to 20 hours a day. No joke. There was no 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was top ramen. Yeah. I used to drive a car like the Flintstones. Yeah. You could see through the bottom. It was one of those I forget what they call them, but it was like a 2-gear on the floor shift.
Wow.
It was like, it was a $400 car. I remember it. I remember I got it from one of my track buddies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
it worked.
Yeah.
Got me from 8. But anyway, just as a quick funny story, I'm going to practice and I get smacked, right?
Yeah.
So I got $3,500 from their insurance for a $400 car.
Wow.
I was like, I love this car.
That's wind up being an investment.
Oh yeah, I was like, stock market has nothing on me, baby.
Man, that's funny. So I know that you said take ownership, and it looked like from a very young age you took ownership, right?
I did.
Guy. So that's just always been in you. That's not something you learned.
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's genetics.
Okay.
I think it's your environment. I think it's your conditioning.
Yeah.
I think if you throw God into the mix, I think that's a big deal.
Uh-huh.
You know, even at a young age. I mean, we weren't churchgoers all the time or different things. I just was very lucky to have God in my life early.
Yeah.
I used to ride my bike and I'd be praying and, you know, because I'm like, oh, you might want to pray when you're stationary. Yeah. So I just think that we're all a big collection of where we're at.
Yeah.
But I also think that we can make changes.
Right.
So who I was at 18 is way different than who I am now.
Yeah.
You know, everybody says, you know, you would have, you know, had this happen to you or this happen to you or this happen to you or different things of that nature, you know, bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I was truly there.
Right.
I was rough. I had some challenges with, you know, certain situations that I wasn't happy with.
Okay.
mainly because I was tiny.
Right.
How the heck are you supposed to be the best athlete in the world,
Right.
and you're 4'2" and weigh 3 pounds?
Right.
It's probably not going to happen, even if you're highly athletic.
Yeah.
So I just think that, again, I just think we got to keep stumbling forward with ignorant enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We have to try to set systems, routines, customs, habits. And I think the holistic system can be great for you and anybody else.
Yeah, right.
And has been.
Yeah. Obviously, it's helped thousands upon thousands.
Yeah.
So, you said you've been working for 50 years and you love it. Was there one job in particular that changed your mind to love working, or have you always had that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, it makes sense. But I think for me, environmentally, my mom, she came from a farm, and they worked 20 hours a day, and so that's just what we knew. My dad came from a farm; that's what they knew. We just knew work. I didn't love everything I did. I had real bad allergies. I mean, bad allergies. Yeah. And so I was the one that had to, be the gardener and do the weeds and stuff. And we, for some reason, we were middle class, but we had like a big lot with a lot of dirt and rose bush. I got cuts, scars, rose bushes and stuff. Yeah. And so I had to do that. Yeah, my dad was pretty well a perfectionist, and so you should be able to eat off the ground, one of those types of deals. Yeah. And so I didn't love everything, but I learned that for me, it was a great avenue. It was a great arena, so to speak, for me to be able to help others. Right. And I loved that. Yeah. That was kind of, my life, and is continuing to be my life.
Right. So, I think it's safe to say that, obviously no one likes to work. Right. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Everybody but me. Yeah.
I think certain people like to work, but certain people also, don't like to work. They understand they need to work, and it is what it is, right? Yeah. What is tips, tricks, things that you've done to, trick yourself into working, or to, like what you're working, or enjoy it, or, something like that? Is it just competition for you, or?
No, I think that's where it comes back to a God lens. If you read that Bible, it'll tell you that there's certain things that you must go through that you may not understand to get where you want to be. So if let's just say we take Moses. Yeah. Right. He's got it all. Right. Right. He's like the king's third guy. Here's his son, and here's his. Where else do you want to be? Right. Right. And then he had to go away for 40 years to learn some things. Yeah. And so I always, I'm not saying always, but fairly early on, I just realized that each thing that I was doing would somehow prepare me for the next step. But that was never my conscious level decision. That would be hindsight looking back. What I said was how can I help this person now? Yeah. How can I help this kid? How can I help this 80-year-old? How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Whether that was in career material or anything else. Yeah. Right? I used to, back in the day, full on. Bakersfield's like 110 in the summer. Yeah. And we had, ladies that would, their tire would pop or whatever. Oh, yeah. I go down and change the tire, and I thought about that later. I'd drive by and I'd see somebody, and I was like, man, I want to stop. I'm too busy, and I just kept going. Yeah. But back in the day, I used to stop and do it. Yeah, I just thought it was the right thing to do, right? And I didn't do right things because they were right things. I did right things because it was in me to do that. Yeah. And whether that was partial DNA, which I'm sure it was. Yeah. I know the God lens and especially with my mom, I know that was just in us. Yeah. That was really, conditioned in us. Right. Yeah.
So quick question, right thing to do into you said. Is that something that can be taught, you think? I think that, I don't know if, you've said this before, but I've heard, we're selfish beings. Yeah. Right?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately. Do you think that it is something that can be taught to do the right thing, or do you think that just comes natural for some people and it's not able to be taught?
Yeah, I think it's both and. Okay. Right? I think that anybody says, well, this is the way I am. Come on. Right. Dude. No. Yeah. Because there's some things that I could say, well, that's just the way I am, and it's ugly. Right. Right. And I'm not saying that I've worked through all those things, but I've worked through a bunch of them. Yeah. But it's called work for a reason. Yeah. You got to work through these things, right? Yes. So I think that we're all naturally bent certain ways. Some people, like faith, right? Yeah. My wife, she just has that in her. I don't have that in me as much as she does. Right. But that doesn't mean I can't have faith, and it doesn't mean that I can't get better at having faith. Right. Right?
Yeah.
So, well, how do you do that? Well, again, begin with the end in mind. Reverse engineering, backwards planning. I used to tell people that would be the ongoing thing. What do you want? Well, let's start at the end of this and let's reverse engineer it or backwards plan, or I have a company system. Begin with the end in mind and then work your way backwards.
Yeah.
So this is what you want, or this is where you're at. This is what you want. What are the activities you can do to try to achieve ultimately that end?
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's a both and situation, and we've seen it over and over. I've got a good friend of one of my good buddies, and she came from, I think, 8 or 9 siblings, and I don't think any of them were all that great, but she wound up being great. So how is that? Why is that? Because she had a desire.
Yeah.
She had a desire to be great.
Yeah.
She had that work ethic and different things of that nature that helped her to move forward.
Right.
So I think that, in life, a lot of times we look at all these negative things that have happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
But again, lemons to lemonade. Do you turn the negatives into positives?
Right.
And I think the people that do that are the ones that are the most successful, the happiest. It's maybe not always easier,
right,
but it can be easy sometimes, right? Because you're just continuing to go through with that.
Right. And so, I know you've helped thousands upon thousands of adults. You've helped almost, millions and millions of kids.
Yep.
For a lot of people, they'd be happy with that. They'd be ecstatic with that. But I know that you're not done yet.
No.
What is your goals in that?
So we want to be able to help 100 million youth, and we want to get to probably around 40 million adults. And so I shouldn't even say probably, that's the numbers.
Those are the numbers.
There's no probably. That's where we're at, right?
Wow.
And so with one of the businesses that I run as Consult for Kids, we primarily work with the adults who work with the kids in after-school programs.
Okay.
And we have every levels of systems to do that. So if you're at the tippy top, we can help you.
Got it.
Okay, we have what we call our executive track,
which
is a leadership track.
Okay.
But it goes all the way down to middle management. We even do a JET, junior executive track for the young kids. And then we have things that we call, the trilogy, the Nifty 9, the Fab 4, the Fantastic 5, the, Elite, all these things. And so these are all systems that we developed over the years when we were teaching and doing after school programs or businesses.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? And so we developed universal systems. You can plug anything into them.
Yeah.
Right? And 3 years ago, I plugged 3 businesses in 1 year. 3 different businesses into the system, and we just ran the system. They were all profitable within 12 months.
Oh, wow.
And one of them we actually purchased. We didn't start it up. We just purchased it.
Purchased it. Okay.
Yeah, and we took that business from, it was doing some stupid number like, I don't know, $1,000 a month or something. Mm-hmm. And we were able to get that up to almost $20,000 a month in less than 18 months. Yeah. Well, I think it was 18 months in the end.
Okay.
Yeah. I count as a year because the first 6 months we were just trying to dig through trash to get to, whatever. Yeah. But I just think that systems matter.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's my tagline.
Yeah.
Where systems matter. And I think that there's, look, I'm not the most talented guy around. Mm-hmm. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not any of those. Matter of fact, I'm far from those things. But when you have a nice system and you work at it and you go to work at it, then great things can happen no matter who you are.
Gotcha. And how do you keep that drive going? I mean, how do you, for 50 years you've been working, and now you have this, and that's a big goal to help 100 million kids, and you're well on your way. And, 40 million adults. How do you keep that drive going?
I don't even think about it. It's not an option. Like, I don't even think like, I need to keep my drive going. Yeah, of course I get tired and different things that I'll take a nap.
Right.
I don't care if I'm that tired. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah.
I'll take a nap in the middle of the doggone day. I mean, if that's what I have to do. But for the most part, that's just not how I think. I just think that, here's the goal. Yeah. And guess what? When we get to 100 million, they'll probably go to 200 million.
Right.
Why not?
Because you and your mom just are always going to work. I know that she's like, 77 and works still.
Yeah, she works. She's retired, school teacher, principal, district administrator, all the above.
Yeah.
And she works more now because she cares about people than she did when she was, well, probably not, but it's at least the same.
Same, yeah.
You can only work so many hours in a day, right?
Yeah. That is crazy. Man. So for, like a young business owner or a young entrepreneur starting out, you've been in that shoes before.
Yeah.
What is, a key thing that stuck with you that, you wish someone told you or someone did tell you that helped you get through that and push forward?
No one told me anything. I just plugged back into a system that we have.
Okay.
And so we have this system that we do, which is collecting data.
Uh-huh.
And we do that in a very specific way.
Yeah.
And then we just say, what did we like, what do we dislike, and what are we undecided about?
Right.
And if we like, we celebrate. We high five each other or whatever.
Yes.
Pop in a Jolly Rancher or whatever that is.
Yep.
Right? We celebrate. If it's something we dislike, we adjust.
Right.
Like we'll think about it, but we just do something about it.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit there and analyze it for the next 500 years. We're gonna analyze, figure out like what do you think? The answer is always in the room.
Right.
So we'll ask 10, 20, 30, 50 people, or we'll send out a text. Hey, we're having an issue here. What do you think? They'll go, turn the knob to the left, dummy. Oh, that's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
It could be as simple as that. But I believe the collective experience of people is way better than one person in a silo trying to go, this is exactly what we should do, and this is the way we should do it. And it's like, come on, man.
Right, and I believe there's actually a video out on that they could go view. Is that correct?
I think so. I think that the individual system, which is part of that. So some of the stuff is just universal.
Right.
That, you just informally or formally, you're just plugging into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be out there in some chop-ups of it.
Okay, awesome. And so my last question for career material before we move on to bonus questions that we've collected from people, and then I had some few from here, so that'll be fun.
Scare me.
Yes. Was there anything that I didn't ask you about career material that you would like to share story-wise or anything like that for the audience?
No, I mean, yes. Okay. If you're going to twist my arm.
Yeah.
Look, I just think that for me, it was a great arena.
Yeah.
I saw my mom work her tail off. It was probably already in my DNA, but, I was able to witness this.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be able to do that. But here's the thing. The bottom line is that I walk around and I look at other people's caption.
Okay.
Like, what's going in your head as an interviewer, whatever you are, interviewer, right?
Yeah.
What's going on in your head, and how can I make your life easier?
Right.
That's what I'm going to try to do. Right. And sometimes that comes out negative. Mm-hmm. So when somebody cuts me off, I think to myself, let me help you. Right? Because if I don't help you, you might cut somebody off and kill them or kill yourself or whatever.
Right.
So I speed up and I drive up to him and I say, hey, knucklehead, right? Because sometimes teaching isn't always the nice way to teach. Sometimes you got to get into people's business.
Right.
And so I have a continuum of about 400 things that I can do.
Right.
And so that would be the main thing is that if career materials is your world, then enjoy that. I know my wife said the other day, people, they just like to talk to me. And she's busy, right? And she said, I have to stop. And I just need to talk to them because they need that from me.
Right.
So what is it that you're good at? What is it that you love? What is it that you're excited about? What about those things? And then just be okay with whatever that is. For me, the career material section works. For somebody else, it may be the spiritual religious. For somebody else, it may be the health physical to a crazy degree. The athletes or bodybuilders or different things like that. Yes, you flat bill, right? Or different things of that nature. And so I just think, go with it. Let's not always look at the C's and D's and F's on the report card. Let's look at the A's as well.
Got it. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Now we're going to get into bonus.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Over this camera, over this video, you will as well.
Time out. Here's a few $100, few C notes.